My own sister texted me, "Don't bother showing up to the wedding. It's not your day." No call, no tears, just a cold light on a glowing skin. So I laughed, shut the door on her perfect day, and booked myself a flight to Hawaii. 1 week later, while I was sipping coffee at the airport, her wedding clustered. My phone buzzed non-stop, 110 missed calls, and trust me, that was only the beginning. Before I dive into the story, hit like and drop a comment telling me where you are listening from. Let me know if you be ever been in this kind of situation. Your advice reminds me I'm not alone. I grew up in a house where appearance mattered more than love. Two neighbors who look picture perfect, freshly not alone, matching Christmas sweaters, smile plastered on every family photo. But inside, everything resolved around Megan, my older sister, the golden child. She was the pretty one, the loud one, the center of every conversation. I was the quiet shadow, the one who cleaned up messes no one else wanted to deal with. Even as kids, the roles were clear. Megan not got the spotlight. I got the chores. She would throw parties in high school, and I would be on the one scrubbing red slow cup stains out of the carpet the next morning. Her parents brushed it off as normal sibling dynamics, but I learned early that my value in this family came from how much I could fix, not from who I was. So when we got not engaged, no one was surprised when I jumped in to help. Planning wedding wasn't just something I did on the slide. It was my career. I would build my own event company from scratch, putting everything into creating magical nights for strangers who actually appreciated my work. For my sister, I offered it all for free hours of calls, late night spreadsheet, vendor negotiation that could make anyone's head spin. I told myself it was love, that this time maybe she would see me differently, that our parents might finally look at me with the same pride they reserved for her. I wanted to believe my effort could buy me a seat at the table, not just as the planner, but as a sister. Looking back now, it's almost laughable but because the truth was already there. Hidden in the way my mom said, "Don't make things harder for Megan, it's her day," or the way my dad changed the subject. Whenever I mentioned my business, they did not see me as a professional or even as a daughter with limits. They saw me as competent labor, and as the wedding drew closer, I felt the weight of the truth pressing down. Every flower arrangement, every call sheet, every carefully drafted timeline, I poured myself into it, hoping it would be enough. But deep down, there was a voice whispering what I would not want to hear. No matter what I gave, it would never be enough for them. The first crack showed me up in the smallest way. My phone buzzed late one night. Megan's name lighting up the screen. I expected another question about centerpieces on the cake flavor she could not receive on. Instead, it was just a causal line. "By the way, can you cover the florist final invoice?" Everybody did not cover it all. "No, please, no, thank you." Just an assumption that I would handle it because that's what I always did. I stared at the message, the words burning into me. My chest felt tight, but I typed back. "I already put down the deposit. That was my gift. I can't cover more." Her reply came fast. "Don't make this a big deal. It's just money." Just money. Easy for her to say when it was not hers. A few days later, I tried to talk to mom, hoping for some support. I sat at the kitchen table, the smell of her coffee drifting between us, and asked, "Did you know Megan wants me to pay more?" She sighed the way and she always did when I brought up anything uncomfortable. "Honey, you know Megan's under a lot of stress. Don't add to it. If you can help, you should." There it was again. The command to stay quiet, to carry the weight to so Megan could shine. But the real turning point came when Dad called. His voice was warm, at first cheerful even. "So, sweetheart, we are all pitching in for Megan and Alex's wedding gift, a down payment on their first house. Your share will be $2,000. You can just transfer it to me." I gripped the pawn so hard my hand and heart. Dad said slowly, "I'm not even invited to the wedding anymore." There was a long pause before this tone hardened. "This is not about the wedding, Clara. This is about family. Don't punish your sister over one little sitting issue. One little sitting issue, my excretion, my work, my money dismissed in a single phrase." After that, the humiliation became public. One night before bed, I scrolled through Instagram and found my cousin had posted pictures from Megan's bridal shower. It was held at the same garden cafe I would scouted months before. They were the bedmates in matching dresses I helped choose. Clinking champagne glasses, smiles were Megans glowing at the center. The caption read, "The A team celebrating the bride to be." I was not part of the picture. I am not part of the team. I closed the app, my throat dry, my hands shaking. For the first time, it was not just sadness. It was something colder, sharper, anger that hummed like electricity under my skin. 10 days before the wedding, my phone rang again. Megan's voice exploded the second I picked up. My band just cancelled. Their singer got sick. You have to fix this, Clara. Wedding is in 10 days. Do something. Her demand was so casual. As if I still worked for her, as if she did not erase me for her big day. I took a slow breath, stating myself, I'm not your planner anymore, Megan. There was silence. Then she screeched. Are you kidding me? After everything I would be done for you, you are really going to be this petty? But I did not argue. I just hung up, the click echoing through the room. For the first time, I echoing through the room. I had not folded, and in that silence, I realized something vital. This was not just about a wedding anymore. This was about my oath, about whether I would keep letting them use me until there was nothing left. That night, lying in bed, I made a decision. They thought I was powerless, just the quiet fixer in the background, but they had no idea how much power I actually held. The days that flowed blurred into a strange mix of quiet rage and icy clarity. For so long, I had been the fixer, the one who absorbed every demand without discretion. But that phone call with the Megan, the way she sketched at me, the way my parents expected me to keep pouring money into acceleration, I was not even invited to. Had snapped, something said me. I sat at my kitchen, table surrounded by neat stacks of paper, contacts, invoices, receipts, the documents that had ruled my life for past 6 months. I would sign every single one under my business name, Collins Events LLC, the venue. The caterer, the florist, the line rentals, all of them. I had not thought much about it all that time. It was just how I operated. Never mixing personal and professional accounts, but now as I scanned each line, one detail stood out like a lifeline. Final balances were due exactly 7 days before that event. If payment was not received, the contracts became void. In other words, the wedding did not belong to Megan. It belonged to me. Still, I need to be sure. I called Sarah, my friend and lawyer, the one who had helped me draft this contract years ago. When I was just starting out, we met at a small coffee shop downtown. The place smelled like espresso and cinnamon. The air humming with low combustion and pinging cups. I slid the folder across the table, my hands trembling despite the cool expression. I tried to maintain Sarah flipped through the contracts with her usual nonsense calm. After a few minutes, she looked up at me, eyes steady. Maybe you are the client of record. Legally, the answer to you. If the final payments are not made by the deadline, you are entitled to cancel. The deposit is refundable to your business account. Her words hit me like a shock and relieved all that sense. Is it pity if you use that? I whispered. Sarah shook her head. It's not pity, it's business. They treated your professional work like a doormat. You have every right to pull it out from under them. That night I sat alone in my apartment. The glow of my laptop illuminating the room. My cursor blanket on the screen, taunting me, daring me to take the step. I drafted 4 emails, once for each vendor. The words were polite, professional, free of anger. As the client on record for the event, scheduled August 30th. I'm ready to inform you that I will not be remitting the final payment as stipulated in our contract. Please consider this notice of the cancellation effective immediately. Refund the deposit to my business account on file. I read them over and over, my heart pounding. This was not revenge born of fire fury. It was the clean position of someone finally claiming their power. I scheduled the emails to send at exactly 9 am the next morning, 7 days before the wedding. As I shut my laptop, a strange calm settled over me. Outside the city light flickered, car horns echoed faintly in the distance. For once morning, their chores were not mine to manage. The wake up to quiet hum of my phone alarm. I poured myself coffee, sat by the window and waited at 9 and 10 am. Sharp the emails went out, no fireworks, no dramatic music, just a series of polite digital goodbyes traveling through cyberspace. For a few hours, there was silence. I imagined vendors opening their inboxes, reading my words, making calls, and there just afternoon. The phone on Megan's end must have started ringing. One by one, the dominoes would fail. I slid my coffee, steady and calm. For the first time, I was not waiting for the approval. I was waiting for the sound of everything they looked for granted crashing down. It started with a call from the venue manager, his name Harrison. Lit up on Megan's phone at noon just as she was picking out nail colors with her bridesmaids. I was not there, of course, but I could imagine it clearly. The way she laughed at first, thinking it was a mistake. The way her smile faltered when he said in his crisp, professional tone, "I'm sorry, Miss Collins, we received a cancellation notice from Collins event. Your booking has been released." Within the hour, the caterer called, then the florist, then the linen company, each one delivering the same polite, devastating message: no payment, no wedding. My own phone finally lit up, buzzing across the kitchen counter until I picked it up. Nina's name flashed and I let it ring twice before answering. I set it to speaker and leaned back in my chair, calm as the storm raged on the other end. "What the hell did you do?" Megan's voice cracked into a shrill scream. I could have chosen in the background, my mother shouting, my father's booming voice echoing through what must have been the living room. The venue just cancelled the Kindred too. Those said you pulled the plug. I took a slow sip of my coffee before speaking. "I did not do anything. I just chose to not make the final payments. You did me. I had no place at your wedding." "Megan, so I removed myself and my business from it. You ruined my wedding to get back at me." She squeezed her voice raw with panic. "No," I said evenly. "You ruined your own wedding when you decided I was not worth a seat at the table. You can't erase me, use me, still expect me work to stand behind you." There was a bit of silence before my mother's voice cut in sharp and furious. "Eva, how dare you? This is your sister's big day. You need to fix this right now." "I can't," I replied. My tone was calm, almost gentle, which only seemed to make them angrier. "The contracts are already void. The deposits have been refunded to my business account. It's done. You will give that money back." My father roared, his voice so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "No," I said, "the money was never a gift. It was business. But I'm done letting you treat me like free labor." For the first time, there was no scrambling now apology for me, just the sound of my words landing like stones in the silence that flowed. On the other end of the line, I could hear Megan breaking down her sobs. "Jade, furious, desperate. You don't understand what will be done. Guests are flying in. Like suddenly it's already done." And yet somehow there was no room for me. I cut in, my voice sharpened for the first time. "Do you have my yourself? You raised me and still expected me to carry you." The sobs turned to venom. "You are pathetic. You will be always been jealous. You will die alone with your spreadsheet and your contract, and no one will ever love you the way you love Megan." That one stung, I won't lie, but I forced myself to stay steady. "Maybe," so I said softly, "but at least I will never beg scrapes to love from people who only know how to take." When dead silent, not a scream, not a sob, just nothing. And in that pause, I finally understood this was not a tantrum, this was not a page. This was the end of the me being their doormat. I needed to call myself, pacing the red bottom with a hand that no longer trembled. The next few days were a blur of panic, voicemails, angry texts, even threats. At one point, my father showed up at my apartment building, pounding on the lobby door, demanding I calm down and fix the family disaster. I stayed upstairs, lights off, watching from the window as he finally left. For once, I didn't care. And then came the wedding day, or rather than was supposed to be the wedding day. While Megan and my parents scrambled to several escapes, switching venues, begging indoors who were already booked. I was sitting at the airport, suitcase at my side, the hum of departures and announcements filling the air. I ordered a coffee, set my phone as the silent and said a boarding pass across the counter. As the plane lifted into the sky, I thought of Megan in her white dress. Standing in empty hall with was not sweet revenge, it was justice, the kind of justice that comes when someone's finally refused to be used. By the time my phone buzzed again, 14 new messages, 70 more missed calls, I was already soaring over the Pacific, watching the sunlight glitter on the water, and for the first time in years, the choice was not mine for fix. The strangest thing about walking away was how light it felt. I think I would carry guilt for, or maybe regret, but all I felt was space, like I could finally breathe without their weight pressing down on my chest. News trickled back in pieces. A cousin messaged me with the disbelief Megan's wedding bed had been reduced to chaotic backward scrambled plastic templars from Walmart pizza delivery instead of a plated dinner. Half the guests left early. Photos were conspicuously absent from social media, except for one grainy shot where Megan's eyes looked more furious than joyful. My friends tried one last time to deal me back in a long email edit full of guilt trips family should stick together. You embarrassed us. You ruined Megan's big day. I did once, then deleted it. For once, I did not feel the need to respond. Meanwhile, the refund deposit sat safely in my business account. Proof that all my work had not been wasted. It had simply been reclaimed. With their money, I invested back into my company. I booked new clients on who valued me, who thanked me, who paid me without question. But the best part was not the business, but it was my own pace. I walked along the beach in Hawaii. At sunrise, the sand cold under my feet. The ocean is stretching endless and calm. For the first time in years, I was not planning around someone else's demands. I was just living and thought about my grandmother, one family member who had even truly seen me. She used to tell me, "Your worth is not what you give away, it's in what you hold on to." Standing there with the waves lipsing at my snake crabs, I finally understood what she meant. They had lost me completely, and I had not lost a thing. Only con want even a stranger never could. They would know exactly where to cut deficit. In 4 years, I let the scars bleed while pretending everything was fine. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not fixing the mess, it is walking away from it. I did not destroy my sister's wedding, I simply stopped holding it up. And in doing so, I realized something I should have known all along. My value was never measured by their approval. It was mine to define. If you were stood up a family who tried to erase you, or if you would be had to protect your own peace at the cost of belonging, know this. You are not alone. Share your story in the comments. I will be reading them. And don't forget to subscribe because the next story might just remind you of your own strength.